We've done a thorough investigation.
All the evidence that they collected contradicts.
100% sure there was no foul play.
Look at the evidence, something y'all have not done.
First, we'll lay out the official version of the story. Then, we'll reveal the other side. Because in the court of public opinion, this verdict is still split. On January 11th, 2013, 17-year-old Kendrick Johnson was found dead inside a rolled-up gym mat at his high school. The mat stood 6 feet tall, stored upright among others. His body was discovered head first inside the hollow center. Nearby, a pair of shoes. One at the base, one beside the mat.
The documents I've read and the things, the investigation I've seen, I feel 100% sure there was no foul play.
Officials called it a tragic accident. His family called it impossible. Authorities said he fell in while reaching for a shoe. His family said that never made sense. 10 years later, the case remains officially closed and publicly unresolved. Every version of the truth starts here. One body, two explanations. This is the story of what happened inside that gym and everything that went missing after. Investigators concluded Kendrick entered the old gym alone. Students used the upright mats to store shoes. His pair was near the back. Stored upright, openings up. He climbed onto the mats to retrieve a shoe and slipped in head first. Trapped, inverted, with almost no room to move. Breathing became restricted. The ruling? Positional asphyxia. No one else was found responsible. The sheriff's office accepted the accident scenario. The medical examiner ruled the death accidental. A clean story, a simple cause, a closed file. A tragic accident inside a school gym. Remember this version. The Lowndes County Sheriff's Office led the first investigation. Its report matched the medical examiner's findings. Accidental death. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation agreed. The case was closed within weeks. No charges, no inquiries, just closure.
The Lowndes County teen's body was discovered in a rolled-up mat in a high school gym back in 2013. Authorities ruled his death a freak accident, but his parents believe he was murdered.
In 2014, federal officials opened a review after the family alleged mishandled evidence. The Department of Justice examined records, footage, and autopsy findings. 2 years later, prosecutors found no grounds for criminal prosecution.
The investigators concluded that Kendrick Johnson's death was the result of positional asphyxia.
The family filed civil suits against the school and law enforcement. Most were dismissed or withdrawn. In 2021, the case was reopened and again ruled accidental. Across local, state, and federal levels, the ruling never changed. Every door led back to the same word: accident. When Kendrick's body was returned to his family, they ordered a second autopsy. 2 autopsies, 1 body. 1 ruled asphyxia, 1 found trauma. The state listed positional asphyxia as cause of death. The independent report found blunt force trauma to the neck. 2 reports, 2 conclusions, 1 body. The second examiner found the internal organs missing, the cavity filled with newspaper. No complete chain of custody exists. Blood on a wall near the mats didn't match Kendrick's DNA. Investigators said it came from an earlier incident, never verified. Experts disagreed. The autopsies remained unreconciled. Science was meant to clarify what happened. Instead, it produced 2 incompatible versions of one death. On the day Kendrick died, students moved freely between the old and new gyms. Witnesses saw him heading to the old gym, the last confirmed sighting. After that, the record goes quiet. Student accounts differed. One said he shared shoes with a friend. Another saw him near the mats before lunch. Others noticed nothing unusual. Investigators reviewed footage from over 30 cameras. No one followed Kendrick in. No one was seen leaving after him. Several angles were incomplete. Gaps from minutes to hours.
Those files are not original files. They're not something that an investigator should rely on for the truth of the video.
Not all students were re-interviewed. Some statements were later revised or retracted. The report listed who was in the building, not who was near the mats. He walked in. No one saw him walk out. In every investigation, records matter as much as evidence. What should have been preserved wasn't. 4 gym cameras weren't recording during key hours. Investigators said they malfunctioned. Other camera footage was copied, but segments and timestamps were missing. No continuous video shows how Kendrick entered the mats. Several items lacked chain of custody documentation. Blood samples degraded before testing. Some clothing was destroyed during processing. Not all internal photos from the first autopsy were preserved. Only partial files were released. School security logs for January 10th were missing. Data had been overwritten. One gap could be an error. Dozens make a pattern. None of these absences alone prove wrongdoing, but together they erase certainty.
I looked at the crime scene investigation, evidence collection, the autopsy, the interviews that were done and were not done in a timely fashion. This is a sloppy case from the get-go.
What was lost can't be reviewed. The truth isn't buried here. It was never filed. Kendrick Johnson's case isn't the first to divide official reports and public belief. Across the country, families have faced similar cases. Different stories, same ending. A file marked closed. In Georgia, several families have challenged death investigations involving young black men, citing incomplete autopsies and missing evidence. Each time, the ruling stayed the same: no foul play. Experts call it a structural problem. Smaller jurisdictions rely on limited resources and overlapping agencies. Once a case is labeled accidental, every review tends to confirm it. Errors become facts. Procedure becomes repetition. Repetition becomes truth. Families continue to press for transparency, not just for Kendrick Johnson, but for others whose cases ended the same way. Their fight isn't for a new theory, but for an explanation that accounts for all the evidence, not only what remains. Injustice doesn't always hide. Sometimes it's printed, signed, and filed away. Ten years later, the case remains officially closed. The record says accident. The family says murder. Between them lies what was never explained: the space between evidence collected and evidence lost. No clear reason explains how he entered the mat. No reconciliation exists between the 2 autopsies. No record confirms where his organs went. No footage shows his final moments. No one has been held responsible. 10 years, 2 autopsies, no closure. The official version remains unchanged. Kendrick Johnson fell into a mat while reaching for a shoe. Everything that contradicts it, missing or dismissed. The paperwork remains complete. The story never was. The investigation is over. The questions are not. Because some stories don't end. They're abandoned.